What's happening, everybody? Suburban Hiker. Today we are going to take a look at what could quite possibly be the most popular knife in the world, the Swiss Army Knife. Now, I am not saying that this is the best knife in the world. I'm not saying it's my favorite knife. That would probably be a steak knife followed by a butter knife, because I love my steak and everybody loves their butter. However, this is a fantastic pocket knife, and the popularity is, I'm guessing, worldwide. I know as an American, I am very familiar with the Swiss pocket knife. I'm not sure if that's worldwide. If everyone does, you guys can let me know. How popular is the Swiss Army Knife? I do know that I went to do a quick background check about the Swiss Army Knife because I know nothing about knives. I don't know anything about a Swiss Army Knife other than, you know, it's called a Swiss Army Knife. So when I went to Google and I started searching, I typed in Swiss and Google suggested Army Knife for me. Before I even finished typing, this was a Christmas gift, and it is the Huntsman model. This knife is only 0.8 inches high, 3.6 inches long, 1 inch wide, and it weighs a whopping 3.4 ounces. I'm being very sarcastic. 3.4 ounces is not a lot. There are 15 functions on this. I'll read through them real quick here. We have a Reamer punch sewing awl, a key ring, a multi-purpose hook, small blade, toothpick, can opener, screwdriver 3mm, corkscrew, tweezers, a bottle opener, screwdriver 6mm, wire stripper, scissors, large blade, and a wood saw. Let's go through and take a look at some of these functions. Here's the corkscrew. That was easy to open. We'll go with that one first. Obviously, you would use a corkscrew to remove corks. There are little tricks you can use with a corkscrew. One of the little tricks I know. Let me show you real quick. So I have a piece of cordage. Let's say you have a knot. You take your corkscrew and you work it into your knot, and then you can start twisting it. That gives a better bite on the material, and you can start working it around and work it loose. It's not the easiest thing in the world every time. However, it does start loosening that knot up, and you can start working it. You might be in a situation where you absolutely need to salvage your cordage, and you just have got to work at it until your knot is loose. So there you go. It's a good use for the corkscrew unless you are needing to remove a cork. While I have this rope out, let me find the scissors. There you go. Look at that. It cuts right through. Here, let's get a close-up of that. Are we focused? Ta-da! Those are pretty sharp scissors. It's a handy little gadget. You have a short blade. Well, appears to be pretty sharp. I'm always surprised. I always say that every time I buy a tool that has a blade on it. I'm always surprised at how sharp they come. Look at that. So I'm able to get curl. Well, let me see. Are we focusing there? So if you're in a situation and you need to create a tinder bundle, you can curl up with the knives on these. See what the larger knife does. It's also, it seems very sharp. It's just straight out of the box. Let's open that up. Oh, look at that, curls right up. Absolutely. It's about a 2.5-inch blade. The saw also seems very sharp. I have a chunk of wood here. We'll give it a twirl. We'll get a drink of coffee too. This is, they're calling this a wood saw. Cuts through pretty easily, although it could be noted that this is soft pine, and I'm only pulling, I'm not pushing. The material I can't hold steady enough to do a pull and a push. See, it's difficult to do a pull and a push because the material is moving. If this was a branch attached to a tree, I would very easily be able to saw back and forth. But there's a lot of bite on those teeth. And it seems to be going through this pretty well. Again, if you need a saw, you know, by all means, take a saw. This is a pocket knife. It just happens to have a saw on it, so that in an emergency situation, you might have a saw. The thing about emergency situations, generally they're accidental. If you are prepared, you know, if with a saw and the tools you need, then it's not really an emergency situation, is it? These are handy little gadgets. My granddaughter had one of these. We bought her one. She wanted one when she was 5 years old, and we bought her one. She whittled a walking stick for herself. It took her a couple days because, you know, she's 5 years old. But there's your wire stripper. Right, let's see. Can you see that? Right there. That is your wire stripper, your bottle opener, and a screwdriver. I will say these aren't necessarily the easiest to open. There are indentations for your fingernails. However, I usually trim my nails way back. I'm not a fan of longer fingernails. They are not handy for me. Normally, these are much longer than I normally keep them. I just haven't trimmed them back yet. Seems to be a fantastic little gift. Nice little pocket knife. I have a little bit of backstory about these. I will read to you. The Swiss Army knife was originally made in Germany. Swiss cutler Karl Elsner started making soldier knives in 1891 with a blade, reamer, screwdriver, and can opener. The officer's knife with a second blade and corkscrew appeared in 1897. I remember having one of these when I was a kid too, and it even had a fingernail file on them. They are a universal multi-tool. There's your reamer, punch, and sewing kit. Look at that. That's also very sharp. You know, so that would be good for reaming holes. None of these blades lock back into place, so you would want to exercise caution. This is an awl, so if you are sewing, let's say leather or anything, you know, you're poking holes with that, you're punching holes and sewing. Some of these come with sewing needles. So let's take a look at this here. This is the toothpick. Hides in that little corner there. Look at that. I also use that. I use this toothpick to open the hook that is on here. So there's a universal hook. And I'm afraid I'm going to break my fingernail off if I open that up with my fingernail. So I've been using, let's take a look here. Can you see? Ooh, is it focusing? I use that part to latch onto that hook. So there's your hook. One of the uses, I would think that hook is beneficial. So if you have a cooking pot, your little cook stove, with a bail, you could use that to hook your bail so you're not having to grab the hot bail. We also have tweezers hidden in this little pocket opposite of the toothpick. They're metal tweezers. You see these? Just a very handy little gadget. I don't find it disappointing in any way, shape, or form. I could see why you would want to carry that in your pocket. Pretty much like any knife, it would be better than having a stick if you were in a situation that you needed a knife. There you go. My quick overview of the Swiss Army knife. Thank you so much for watching. If you should feel so inclined, please click like on the video, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. Although I do upload every Friday at 3 o'clock, I also upload in the middle of the week occasionally, extra stuff. Leave some comments. Tell me something about the Swiss Army knife. Is that the world's most popular knife? I think it probably is. There you go. Swiss Army knife for the win. Thanks so much for watching. Hey, we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.